Getting married is hugely important in Sikh culture. One's wedding day is seen as a pinnacle of achievement for both men and women. People often spend 6 figures on lavish celebrations.
But what if, like for me, that marriage goes wrong? How are divorced people treated nowadays in the Sikh community?
10 years ago, I got married, but there were serious problems and I was very unhappy. My parents were really supportive when I decided to get a divorce. But my dad's family in India said I was a disgrace to them. I'd like to meet someone of the same faith as me, so I'm on a few dating apps and use a matchmaking service at the temple.
But it's always the same story. When I tell guys that I'm divorced, they lose interest.
One man told me I was like a scratched car. And this one said he's not considering divorcees. It's been utterly soul-destroying. And it's not just my experience.
As far as divorces go, it couldn't have got any worse.
Kiron Collett lives in Bristol. Her parents arranged her first marriage, but it went wrong.
I was one of the first girls in my town that even embarked upon thinking about divorce and that big D word, and it was regarded as a big D word. But I was in a really difficult position because in the Indian community, strong Sikh girls stay in a marriage regardless of what it's thrown at you. But then, because we were in England, the English society was saying, well, actually, strong girls leave a marriage. So I was stuck between a pillar and a post about actually what do I do?
I know exactly how you feel. Going out in the community was the most difficult thing.
Yeah.
I got the blame and women are judged and it's always them that are wrong. Men can never do anything wrong.
Yes, absolutely. My ex-husband, his actions were overlooked and my actions were magnified.
I feel like with divorced men, it's easier for them to meet somebody because the temples are introducing divorced men to single women. But that never happens to me. I mean, I went to the temple and was looking for someone, and I remember the guy at the temple had said, well, there's only 4 profiles here of divorced guys and you can only meet these 4.
I find that really shocking. I find that shocking because, we're in an era where we're supposed to be equal, yet there's still this double standards when it comes to men and women. When we get married, we're supposed to be virgins entering this new relationship, shiny new goods, and then once, when that breaks down, is you're not shiny new goods anymore.
But would you say that it's a broader problem in the Asian community?
I think it is a wider problem because I have Hindu friends and I have Muslim friends who experience the same.
It really worries me because of the stigma attached to divorce, that women are just sticking to being married and not walking away from it.
Yes, I mean, I know firsthand lots of ladies who are staying in their marriages and they are very, very unhappy. If they had the support network of the community and the culture, maybe it would make a difference.
I think it definitely would. If there was a discussion in the temple, I'm sure we would go because we'd want to meet other people who've gone through it and help them, right?
Absolutely.
So why are we not doing it? It's a simple thing to do.
It is a simple thing to do. Maybe this is the starting point.
I've come to the temple, or Gurdwara, in St George in Bristol for Sunday worship. This is where husbands and wives are often introduced to one another, so I want to gauge opinion here. According to the latest figures, around 5% of Sikhs in the UK are now divorced or separated. But we don't tend to talk about it. And I'm not sure if people will say exactly what they think on camera.
I have 2 boys.
And how would you feel if any one of them married a divorcee?
It doesn't matter to me at all. It depends, how much they are in love with each other. If they fall in love with it, what difference does it make?
So why wouldn't anybody want to marry you?
Because divorce is a stigma, believe me.
Yeah, agreed, but at the end of the day, you are a beautiful person, yeah? Yeah, and sort of, 3 minutes, 4 minutes of seeing you, I believe you have an excellent personality. You would bawl over anybody. You would. Yeah,
Thank you
would.
so much. Thanks for speaking to me.
All right.
I'm blushing now, but one woman does tell me what I've often heard said in private.
How would you feel if one of your children married a divorcee?
Feel sad
Why? Why would you feel sad?
because this life is ruined, innit?
Would you be worried about what the community would say if your child married a divorcee?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah. Because lot of people they will say, why you can't find any single boy, any single girl? Why now? Why you do it?
She really says it like it is in my experience. But what does the Sikh faith actually say about divorce? Sukhjeevan Singh Kandola is a religious leader in Bristol.
The Sikh scripture directly does not say anything about divorce. It talks about how marriage is an unbreakable bond, but our faith is a faith of love and understanding, and in that sense I think there are circumstances that you can walk away from these relationships. Domestic abuse, infidelity.
So there's nothing written in the Sikh scripture, so why do divorced people feel judged?
This is something that has come from the South Asian culture, from the Indian subcontinent, that's come on the plane, and it continues today.
What can religious leaders like yourself do more to be able to remove that stigma? Because I feel it.
We can work with the newer generation, my generation, and upcoming, even children. You know, children need to know about relationships and all sorts of things. But I think with the older generation, I don't think there is so much that can be done. Amongst younger Sikhs, it's not so much of an issue.
I'm glad he thinks the younger generation are becoming more understanding, even if that's not my personal experience. And actually tonight, I've got the opportunity to put it to the test. I've been set up on a date with a man who's Sikh, younger than me, and hasn't been married before.
I'm feeling slightly nervous. You better wish me luck. Okay, so an update. I'm here. Just met him for a coffee. Really lovely guy, very friendly, a gentleman, and bought me my coffee, which was quite impressive because that's the first. Just not sure when to tell him that I'm divorced and how do you drop that into a conversation. That's the bit that I'm a bit worried about. So I've just got back to my car and I am in shock because when I told him I was divorced, he did not care at all. It was not an issue for him. It wasn't an issue for his family. He also understood that people go through things. And the one thing he said was, who am I to judge? Because, you know, I've gone through things in my life, but he doesn't even have someone divorced in his family. That is something that I haven't heard in a long while. And I think that for me, that's what you call an amazing guy.
Maybe my luck has finally changed. We'll have to see how it goes. But I still worry our community's reluctance to discuss divorce makes people afraid to leave unhappy marriages. Hopefully, this film will start a conversation.